Me too. If we go to Applebee's again, I'm going to just order soup and salad.
You called it Applebee's.
It's the same shit. It's like...
What you meant to say was, if we go to Italian Applebee's, you will order that again. That's what you meant to say.
Like they order the frozen food from the same place and like put it in the same oven, just like with an Italian. There's a flag stamped on it.
No, they order it from Applebee's. They freeze it and then they put sauce on it when they get it. That's what happens.
So what did you think?
Hey everyone, welcome to A Grade, the podcast where a college professor and a middle school teacher taste, review, and grade America's best coffee roasters, craft breweries, and more. We have new episodes every Monday morning at 7 a.m. And you can check out our A Grade bonus content by hopping on over to patreon.com/agradepodcast for behind-the-scenes pictures, videos, and a full report card of every place we've ever visited and graded. So again, if you want those extra A-grade bonus content goodies, become an A-grader yourself, there should be a link that you can just click on in the episode description as well. My name, of course, is Joe, and I am joined, as always, of course, by...
Hi, everybody. I'm Jackie.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, we're here.
We are here after our 4-part Italy series, and... glad to be back in America. It's different, but it's time.
Yeah, definitely. And there's definitely some good things about the food in America, but also some not so good things, as I'm sure we're going to explore over the next couple of episodes.
You mean how I always refer to it as dog shit?
That's the unfiltered way to put it, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's opinions on that we'll get into, I guess, with this week's episode. So, of course, we've teased in the previous few episodes that obviously, we are getting back to American coffee roasters and craft breweries, which, as per the introduction, is what we feature. However, we did think it would be funny/interesting to do one more bit of an offbeat, unique review this week. And that, of course, is none other than...
we decided to go to Olive Garden.
Oh, yeah.
An American Italian family restaurant.
What a contrasting experience to really get back into American food and American just restaurant life, I guess. I don't know. And of course, we have or will review restaurants now and then too. So yeah, we thought it would just be kind of fun to check out and certainly funny.
Yeah, and it would be an interesting comparison going from eating in Rome and Florence and Sorrento and Positano to go to the Olive Garden in Lake Grove, New York.
Is it Lake Grove?
I think so, or maybe Centereach.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's basically as Long Island as you can get.
Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us, first-time listeners, multiple listeners, wherever and however you're here. You are in for a bit of a treat because this one, we probably have some pretty strong thoughts on, I suspect. We haven't really talked about it.
No, which was really hard because there's a lot of things that I want to say.
Yeah, so of course we have our 4 grading categories. Atmosphere and ambiance is the first. Then we go into service, then food, and then finally drink. And then we'll wrap up with our overall letter grades and probably argue out what the overall final podcast letter grade is. Because I feel as if for some reason we might have some very differing grades because I think I sort of know which way you're leaning, but I have no really way to tell for each individual category.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, so let's just dive on in as our first non-Italian Italian review in about a month. So do you want to kick us off with atmosphere and ambiance? Like what were your thoughts initially, especially I guess having been to all of these awesome places in Italy? What did you think of the atmosphere and ambiance?
So it is really interesting because where Olive Garden is in this massive parking lot.
It's like a super strip mall.
Suburbs of a major city look where there's a Walmart and a Mandy and a Rainbow, which we were laughing about because we didn't even know those stores were still open. But it's as kind of Long Island strip mall as you can possibly get.
Well, we were saying as well that it was sort of funny because last summer when we were on our road trip in Portland, Oregon, and there was one stretch where we were driving to the gym because we hadn't worked out in a while. And as we were on this road, it was sort of had 2 lanes going each way. And we said, oh my God, this looks just like this road back home that we found ourselves on going to Olive Garden. So it was a very American kind of strip mall
Yes.
experience that we again found ourselves in here going to Olive Garden, I think.
Yeah, so going from that, it was almost a little bit funny, but I was like, no, I'm going to go in with an open mind because it's really been years. And honestly, I really didn't even remember that I had ever been to Olive Garden until I
Yeah.
actually went inside and I was like, oh, I have been here when I was like a kid.
Well, you pointed
But-
out the bar when we walked in, and then
Yeah.
I remembered, oh yeah, I've been here, just not in maybe 15 years at least,
Same.
maybe 20 years. I
Yeah.
don't even remember.
And I come from a very Italian family, so it was almost
See.
like sacrilege to go and have Olive Garden.
Well, we actually, I was telling you yesterday when we were finally deciding, okay, tomorrow's the day that we're going to do Olive Garden, how I think it was for my dad's birthday earlier this year. My sister played a joke on him where she said, oh, we had to cancel the reservation at whatever other restaurant. We're just going to meet at Olive Garden. It's way funnier. And he laughed and said, all right, have fun. I'll see you back home for cake when you guys are done.
Would not, both of our parents would not eat the sauce or the gravy, as we call it, at Olive Garden.
So there's a little bit of, I don't know, just kind of that
Stigma?
Stigma is a good way to put it because it's kind of a corporate entity presenting Italian food, which I understand, but that was definitely part of my impression too going in.
The other big thing that kind of slapped me in the face when we first got in was the fact that the place was totally empty. Now, granted, we went at around 3:30 on a Monday, so this is a very dead time probably in general, but there were probably only 2 other customers in the whole restaurant. Or
Yeah,
2 other couples.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were even open.
Yeah, it was really weird.
And then I saw on their menu that apparently they have lunch specials from like 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. So they had been open. Maybe there were more people there at around noon for lunch. But yeah, when we went around 3 o'clock, we got there and we were eating for maybe an hour or so. There was one other table, I think, maybe in another part of the restaurant.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So what else did you think with A and A?
Just we did talk to your sister and brother-in-law about this as well because they had gone to Olive Garden recently and they went on a Saturday night and said it was similarly empty.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's so weird.
Which is really weird. So
Yeah.
we're like, how are they even open? But whatever.
Big corporate places are like that, though, where some may not be as popular as others, but because it's a corporate entity, it can be sort of propped up by the revenue of others. I don't know how that really works, but maybe that's part of it, or maybe they're particularly busy on weekends or something. Who really knows?
And then other than those kind of things that struck me right away, what was weird was when we went in, you could tell that they were totally trying to do a Italian theme with the fake sort of stucco and the Italian roofs on the outside. And then when you go inside, there's pictures and small little paintings and ceramics that are Italian inspired, I guess, where they have wine or flowers or things like that. It all felt like I felt what the intention would be. There was even Italian music playing in the background, but it totally felt like a bootleg version of Italy, if I'm explaining that correctly.
Well, I sort of had a very similar impression, but really what stood out to me more than any of that, and it was almost as if they had miniature elements of Italian style. They did have that cool tile roof. I don't know how to describe it, but they also had pictures with tiles on the walls, but they were all small. It was almost as if they bought...
Like they were not big enough for the walls.
Well, yeah, it was as if they bought some at, I don't know, Walmart or something and put it on the walls, which is fine. It was a cool touch, but...
The tables were kind of like, They were like just brown, boring wood tables. But I mean, you know, I'm not expecting anything more than that. It was fine inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
but it was funny.
The table sort of associated or correlated to me with the smell, which both very much reminded me of Applebee's. There was that kind of sticky smell.
Is it like cleaner?
Yeah.
Like the floor, whatever they clean the floor with was really sticky.
That always bothers me because on the one hand, that's good. It means that they're cleaning the floor. But on the other hand, I've been to lots of other places that are plenty clean and they don't smell like that.
What is that?
Why
does that happen? Is it just using bad cleaners?
I think part of it, so I sort of associate that smell with places such as Applebee's that are open basically all the time.
IHOP. I don't know
I've
if you've
never
been in
to
IHOP
but
recently, but it smells like cleaner and syrup. It's
but I feel, but you know what I
disgusting.
mean? I mean, Olive Garden's open 7 days a week, I think from 11 to 11. There's very little downtime for when it's closed. So my impression has always been when it has that smell, it's because it's so not closed most of the time that they have to really clean it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's no downtime.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
it's open basically most of the, or like half of the week.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the total hourage or something along those lines. So that was definitely something that stood out to me, was the smell.
The smell. That was true. Kind of hit you in the face when you walked in, where it's a little.
Now, I should say, before we wrap up Atmosphere and Ambiance, we are back to none
Yes.
other than our weekly segment of Cue the Toilets. Bathroom Corner.
Bathroom corner.
It's good to be back. We haven't had a bathroom corner in many weeks now.
No, we haven't. And I got really excited about the bathroom corner. I took some pictures, some videos, but you are the bathroom guru for those people
see.
that have our new listeners. So start us off.
Yeah, so the bathrooms, they're really unadorned, surprisingly, because they did have those touches, as you were mentioning earlier, throughout the restaurant. But there was nothing very Italian themed about the bathrooms, at least the men's bathroom that I found. I did think it was kind of funny that I believe they had 3 stalls and 3 urinals, which is kind of not that common for a men's restroom. Usually men's restrooms, even in a restaurant that big, you might get 1 or 2 stalls, maybe a handicap stall and then just a smaller stall, and maybe a urinal or 2, sometimes more. But I thought it was really funny that they had that many stalls, because it might be necessary because you're eating corporate Italian food. So it's kind of necessary.
It goes in and goes out. That's why they have unlimited, endless
I don't know.
appetizers.
I don't know. I'm just saying that sort of lined up to me. I sort of could understand why that's the case, maybe. But other than that, so I did appreciate that they did have the extra stalls. But it always bothers me when urinals don't have dividers. I hate that, because you're basically just peeing next to each other then, and it's just weird. You might as well just put a trough in, which I
Nice.
have seen that is a thing at really divey dive bars and other not so clean places sometimes. But so I didn't necessarily like that, and I thought it was interesting because in the corner of the urinal, the tile in the corner was broken in, and it looked like a perfect it wasn't, as far as I could tell, a perfect rodent highway, but I could see it being one because it was just kind of a hole in the bottom
Gross.
right corner there.
I'm so glad you didn't tell me that while we were eating.
Well, obviously, this is what, like you were saying, we couldn't wait to share our thoughts. Again, that's not to say that that is the case or that it's not clean. I think it was a pretty clean bathroom, actually, overall. What about yours, though?
I did not have the same cleanliness feeling when I went in mine. I think I had to check 2 or 3 different stalls before I found one that was good enough for me to use.
Oh, God.
One had like toilet paper that I didn't want to mess with in the toilet.
Oh, God.
One had pee all over the seat, and then my third
It sounds
one
like men were using your
was
bathroom.
a charm. I was like, there are 4 people in this restaurant. Who is destroying this bathroom?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why you need the extra stalls. Look what 4 people did before we got there.
It was 3:00 on a Monday. Like,
Can you imagine?
Were they using all the cleaning supplies of the rest of the restaurant, but
Imagine-
not in the bathroom?
Imagine on a Sunday afternoon.
Ugh.
It must be apocalyptic.
I'm literally getting nauseous.
Okay, so what's your bathroom grade?
The other weird thing about the bathroom
Damn
that
it, I was trying to just
not
move on.
wait to tell you
Oh, God, there's
is
more.
that there was a light in the bathroom that was broken and it was buzzing.
Oh, that's your favorite.
What does that make you think of?
The back rooms?
Yes.
Oh, God.
So for those of you that don't know, if you YouTube the back rooms or look up creepypasta,
It's a creepy pasta.
Right.
Yeah.
the back rooms, I felt like the bathroom, it was buzzing and it was the back rooms. And I was in a scary movie. I was kind of scared and was like, let me do this really quick because this is creepy and it's giving me really bad vibes in this Olive Garden Lake Grove bathroom.
God, I didn't realize that you had such a horrible Hollywood experience.
I was like, I need to remember to say this on the podcast. And I was like, wait, how would I ever forget?
So what would you give the bathroom for a letter grade if you had to? Or the
D-,
bathroom experience?
too dirty.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would have given mine maybe a C-. It
Too
was
dirty.
maybe a little bit below satisfactory because, as I said, with the urinal dividers. But yeah, you got fleeced, man. You got ripped off on your bathroom
Each stall
experience.
that I have to skip is a direct
Letter grade?
1 grade lower.
I mean, that's fair
You
enough.
start, and then once then the bzzz because of the lights and me feeling like I'm in a horror movie. Nope. No, thank you.
I mean, that's more than fair, I think. All right. So what do you think for overall atmosphere and ambiance grade?
So I did think about it a little bit back and forth, and my standards are a little bit higher considering we just got back from Italy, and the service was really good, which
we're not talking about service,
which does impact your atmosphere and ambiance. Like I was
true.
really
Fair
comfortable being there. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel anything like that, which does impact the atmosphere and ambiance a little. I think for me, it's below average. I'm going to go D plus because of the smell and that one fly that wouldn't leave our table alone. D
that's
plus
true.
for me.
There was that one fly, which is funny because I feel as if you just treated that one fly as a half letter grade in your assessment.
And the bathroom, the smell. But I kind of enjoyed myself, but I still think D plus is about right for atmosphere and ambiance.
Yeah, I'm going to go C minus because I feel as if they did an overall pretty good job turning that space into a place where it's palatable. It's definitely a place where you don't feel as if you're in Italy, obviously. Maybe if you've never been to Italy, I might think that. I've been to Italian restaurants in America where I feel thinking now, having been to Italy, I think much more, this is kind of what it's like. But it was overall pretty clean. I think those little elements that do kind of detract maybe decrease that letter grade a little bit. So I think from my perspective, C minus sort of makes sense. It's right in that satisfactory ballpark. I think overall that's sort of what makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So service.
You start us off.
Service. So I thought the service was maybe one of the better parts of the experience.
Definitely.
Again, it's kind of a weird thing because you see the commercials. When you're here, your family, blah, blah, blah. I showed up in my gym outfit because I forgot to bring pants and I didn't have anything else to change into earlier in the day. And I thought, well, you know what? I show up to my family's house on Sunday for dinner in my gym clothes. So they say, you're here, your family. I guess I can do that. Remember, I tried to wear the collared shirt with my gym pants and you kept asking me, is that what you're wearing? Is that what you're wearing?
I'm like, put on the dry fit. Go full gym.
Yeah. So
not half gym, half fancy. We're not on Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. I'm too much in Zoom mindset from the past few years. So I took that cue and I wound up just going to my gym clothes. So it was, I'm going back to atmosphere and ambiance. Like I was comfortable there, but to your earlier point, I felt as if that was indicative of also the service experience. They basically sat us in one of these corner rooms. They have these different rooms, which I kind of like as a thing. It's not just one giant open floor plan. But the server who served us, I thought she was great. I thought she was as good as most of the good service we had in Italy. And you really get a sense of what we were talking about. If you go back to our last few episodes talking about the service experience in Italy, how different it kind of is, and how I kind of like the American service experience in general much better. I think part of it is where we went when we were in Italy, when we did, and the fact that there were a lot of other tourists. We did go in the height of the tourist season. I suspect that if we went back to Italy over the winter or in a less traffic time, we would overall have a much better service experience, because I do get the sense there that they're kind of not just inundated, but almost numb to tourists, where unfortunately you kind of maybe are a server in Italy and you see more tourists, and some servers just think, all right, here's more of them, whatever the case is. I mean, in America, you get good and bad service experiences too. It's not as if the service is necessarily better in one place or the other. We had some excellent service experiences in Italy. There were times where the servers were awesome. They would talk to us and tell us about themselves and that, you know, the region or whatever, the area, the restaurant, whatever the case is. They would sing with you. There's some A-grade service experiences in Italy, but in general, I thought the service here was, she was fantastic. I had questions about the drinks, questions about the foods. I think, or you thought that she hooked us up with extra.
She definitely did
stuff.
Because soup or salad came with our entree, and she gave each of us both.
Yeah, we got soup and salad each.
And we each got it. And she kind of gave us the unlimited, because she was like, if you don't like the soup, let me know. I'll bring you a different one. Yeah.
And that was another contrast that I thought was so funny, because like we said earlier, this is the first restaurant or anything that we've really eaten out at since we got back where I remembered, oh my God, how much more insane Americans are in terms of the quantity of foods that they eat. where it was just perfectly normal for her to be like, oh yeah, you like the soup? You want to try a different one?
Or do you want more? When we were done, she was like, do you want a refill on the soup? And I don't think that was part of the lunch special because we ordered entrees. So
Yeah.
that was really, really just her, I think.
Well, she was also just really nice and really friendly.
Yeah.
And again, any questions we had, she was telling me about the drinks. She was talking to us about the entrees. She came over basically the perfect amount of time. That was something that I really missed when we were in Italy. It's almost as if they kind of expect you to just have a good time. We would probably still be at Olive Garden. It's, I don't know, 6 o'clock,
Yes.
6:30 now. We'd probably still be there trying to get our check if this were Italy. And
Yeah.
there's always that good balance in America where you don't want to feel rushed, but you want to get moving.
You're ready.
I got podcasts to record.
I was ready to go.
And she was really good.
I also didn't know how our stomachs were going to respond to Olive
That's
Garden.
true.
So we were ready to go.
We'll get into that with food in a moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that she would come over the perfect amount of time, asked us if we wanted more drinks. I don't think one person in Italy in a dining experience asked us if we wanted more drinks. It just doesn't happen.
It just doesn't happen.
You order either a bottle of wine and you crush it, or you get a drink, and if you want another, you have to call them over and ask them.
Yeah.
It's just maybe a cultural difference. I don't know. Again, maybe if we go different places, different times, it might be different. But I kind of I just like the timing of wait service in America for some reason.
We're also used to it. That's our norm.
So what did you think? Did you have any other ideas about the service, especially?
No, I thought she was really great. I think she shocked me in making the experience like a really, really pleasant one.
It was almost
for
like
me.
we felt like family.
Yeah, she was really, really good. And I think I wish I even knew her name to give her a shout out.
I think it was Ashley or
that girl
Rachel.
deserves
or some
a
other
raise
name from
or
Long Island.
some good tips. She's giving really good service.
Well, also
at Olive Garden.
On a Tuesday afternoon when nobody's in there, that's so easy to. I mean, we've both worked in various capacities in service and retail in our lives, and it's so easy to understand how you can just phone it in on a slow Tuesday.
Yeah, she's like, I'm getting like $5 in tips today. Like, what's the point?
Right, what's the point? Yeah.
We did tip well. So what do you think for service? What grade would you give?
For service, I'm going to go B+. I thought it was definitely above average. Again, it wasn't the connective experience that you would want ideally in an A grade place, right? If we've been to restaurants before where the owners come out or the chef comes out. We've experienced this in both Italy and America, throughout America, obviously. And you get to talk to people more in that capacity. Again, there's other elements that maybe apply in different scenarios and different situations, but that to me is what takes that to A grade experience. But I thought for what it was, this was great. So I think B+ sort of makes sense considering and consoling all of those factors.
I already had locked in the exact same grade as you. I thought
Liar.
B+.
I'm convinced that you're stealing my grades.
No, I gave a different one for the last category.
Well, speaking of the next category, food. Take us away.
All right. So this is what I'm most excited to hear your grade for, because this is ultimately the crux of why we're going to Olive Garden.
Yeah, that's true.
And okay, we ordered pretty much everything because apparently our meals came with everything as well. So we got the salad, the breadsticks, pasta fazool,
Yep,
soup. We got the tour of Italy, which comes with chicken cutlet, fettuccine alfredo,
chicken parmesan,
chicken cutlet parmesan, fettuccine alfredo, and lasagna. And then we got spaghetti and meatballs. So we got to try everything.
Yeah, it was a pretty good spread of a lot of what we maybe have had in the past, some of what we had in Italy, sort of.
We wanted to try like kind of everything.
Well, we wanted to get a sense of what does Olive Garden have to offer.
Now, here's what I feel really strongly about the food. All right. Salad, pretty good. I enjoyed my salad.
I agree 100%. I thought the salad was pretty good.
Really good.
I thought it was pretty good
was pretty
salad.
good.
It had those spoon scissors.
Yeah.
I don't know how else
The
to describe them.
dressing was good.
Just
I
Google
liked-
spoon scissors. They're really fun. I was torturing you with
Yes, you were.
clipping them in your face. Yeah.
Really
it was
good.
great.
The soup, pretty good.
The soup, I agree again.
I will
right.
say, spoiler alert, the soup and the salad and the breadsticks were my favorite part of the meal. As we're eating the soup and the salad and the breadsticks, I'm like, this is actually not bad. And I was kind of shocked at how much I was enjoying the soup and the salad.
Can I interject on your breadsticks?
Go.
Well, I just feel weird coming back to the breadsticks.
Yes,
I want
go
to
ahead.
argue with you now.
Hit him. Hit
Yeah,
it up.
you're entirely wrong about the breadsticks. Those breadsticks were absolute garbage.
All right, fair.
Those were trash sticks.
They were trash sticks.
Remember in Star Wars, the episode, I don't know, 2, that guy selling death sticks in the bar? That's what those were. They were death sticks.
Okay, that's true. They were just pretty bad.
They were basically cardboard.
Cardboard. Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically definitely frozen cardboard.
I might have been
that they heat up.
So I was probably confused.
They did come out hot though.
By the hotness of them and the fact that I could dip the cardboard in my soup.
Yeah, they were D grade breadsticks at best.
But the soup and the salad were probably my favorite part of the meal.
Soup and salad, I agree. The soup and salad were great. Like they were good.
When I get to the regular meal,
yes,
the spaghetti and meatball, hated it. The chicken parmesan, disgusting, really chewy. The fettuccine alfredo.
You sound like Gordon Ramsay. Trash.
I almost threw up when I ate it because it tasted just like milk, fettuccine dipped in milk. And the lasagna was like, eh. So overall, I didn't love. I liked the apps. I liked the salad and the soup. I thought all the meals were kind of really gross. Hot take. And I had like 2 bites of each, or maybe a little bit more of the spaghetti just because I was starving. And it definitely wasn't homemade pasta like you have in Italy. The sauce was
definitely wasn't.
The sauce was so sugary that I felt like I was going to get a headache from it. So basically, especially the fettuccine Alfredo, I actually hated that. That was so gross. But the rest of it was like kind of manageable, but really gross as well.
That's
so those are my takes. Appetizers, awesome. Order those. Entrees, gross. Don't get them.
I think that's the move. I think you're right that if you go to Olive Garden, if you find yourself there, you do want to go with the appetizers or the soup and salad. I think if you go with the soup and salad, I would go there.
Me too. If we go to Applebee's again, I'm going to just order soup and salad.
You called it Applebee's.
It's the same shit. It's like...
What you meant to say was if we go to Italian Applebee's, you will order that again. That's what you meant to say.
Like they order the frozen food from the same place and like put it in the same oven, just like with an Italian. There's a flag stamped on it.
No, they order it from Applebee's. They freeze it and then they put sauce on it when they get it. That's what happens.
So what did you think about each of the food items now that I made my opinion really clear?
I think you're onto something with a lot of it. As we said, I sort of disagree with you with the breadsticks because especially coming from Italy, the bread that we had that they would just give you with meals was fresh, daily baked, awesome bread. Better. That's what, again, there's things that I love about America now, and there's things that I absolutely despise, and the lack of freshness is one of them. I mean, again, granted, we're going to Olive Garden. What do you expect in terms of freshness? But this happens at other places we go to, and you're paying the same prices that you would at this beautiful Italian restaurant in Italy, and you're still getting that still frozen, factory manufactured, preservative bullshit cardboard stick bread. And that to me is just disgusting, and it's not even worth the calories to eat, certainly. So
you still had about 3 of them.
Well, obviously. Obviously, I still ate them. I'm not a monster.
But also, like, it did, in a small way, like, it's trash bread complementing, like, a decent salad and soup.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough, but I would just skip the breadsticks altogether.
Yeah, if I went back, I would do the salad and the soup.
Like, I would tell people to not even try the breadsticks, even if they bring them to you. Don't even try. They're not worth eating.
So tell me about the other stuff. What did you think about the salad?
I thought the spaghetti and meatballs. So if you go back and listen to our Italy episodes, our tour of Italy, where we did the 4 Italian episodes, we were in Italy about a month. What was the thing that I ordered everywhere we went to restaurants in Italy?
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs, correct. So I feel as if I'm not an aficionado on meatballs, but I feel as if I know my way around a meatball.
We've had the best of the best.
I mean, hey, Otello in Rome, some of the best meatballs I've ever had, and a lot of other meatballs in Italy still, I would say, oh, this is a B+ meatball, this is an A- meatball, this is an A grade meatball. I mean, a lot of the meatballs we had there, I was thinking, this is really great meatball. That meatball that we had at Olive Garden, I took maybe 2 bites and I couldn't eat anymore. It was that bad. And it was probably because it was just gross frozen bologna meatballs. But I thought that was probably as close as an F grade meatball that you can get without it being like bad. You know, like usually I say I reserve F grades for if something's actually rotten, right? Because I want F to mean something, right? if I've been to restaurants before throughout my life where I order something and chicken and it's raw, or there is mold on something.
The chicken was pretty chewy here.
It was cooked though. But my point is, an F should really mean something. So I don't know if they were quite F, but if they're not F, they're maybe D- meatballs. They're not great meatballs. And I kind of laughed when the spaghetti came out with the meatballs because it was a little dry. I don't know if you noticed around the edges. So it was just clearly boxed bologna pasta too. So I thought the spaghetti and meatballs, it was about what I expected in an American Olive Garden for an $8.99 lunch special. So the spaghetti and meatballs was probably my least favorite. That was probably closely followed by the lasagna.
You're not putting the fettuccine Alfredo. That was so gross. It was milk.
I thought the fettuccine Alfredo was the best of them.
It was milk.
No, it was all right.
It was creamy.
No, it was all right. It was fine.
Dipped in milk.
No, it
I
wasn't.
almost threw up.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
You took a little
It was just
spoon
jarred.
of it over on your side of the table, and the milk splashed onto my face. That was so gross. I was like, get the chicken away from the fettuccine Alfredo.
The chicken's drowning.
I was like, get it away.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the chicken parm either. I mean, it was also just kind of fine.
It was the end of it was better, where it was
Yeah, it
like
was crispy.
more bread and a little less of like the
Yeah.
meat, like middle of the chicken.
It was
I
not
literally
Mama's.
never got so nauseous doing a podcast as I am right now.
Well, we're literally drinking iced green tea to kind of recover. So if you hear like ice clinking, that's why, because we need the recovery fuel.
Oh
just
God,
because-
I need like a multivitamin after that.
But yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's interesting that there were things that we didn't like more about the food, because I thought the lasagna, for example, was worse than the fettuccine Alfredo, because the fettuccine Alfredo was just like, it was just fettuccine Alfredo sauce, whatever. The lasagna was barely lasagna. It was so soft that you couldn't tell the difference between the pasta and the cheese.
It was so
It just
gross.
kind of molded together. I could have crumbled it up into a ball, and it would have just been a lasagna ball. That's probably what they should do and deep fry it. That's what I would do if I was
literally
Olive Garden.
probably only had 2 bites of lasagna. And I was
wasn't
like,
great.
oh, all right, it's just bad.
Which is funny because I think that was the most expensive thing on the menu, because you got to try those 3, and they were little portions. You got like 1 piece of chicken, a couple scoops of fettuccine Alfredo, and a slice of lasagna, and it was maybe $19.99. That would be a big dish in Italy, though. That would be a huge dish in Italy still.
But could you imagine how good it would be there?
Oh, God.
Or
I know,
even-
it makes me miss fresh Italian
Or
pasta
even
and
at
food.
some of the Italian restaurants that we have around here, or a pizzeria
Oh,
that you can eat in the back
I
at
should
a
say-
pizzeria or something.
I should say you can get good food here. There's a restaurant, shout out to Ordo in Miller Place, New York, not far from where we live. We go there not regularly, but as much as we can. It's a little pricier because it's a
but
really good
really
restaurant.
not that much.
Well, we should do a review of there eventually,
Yeah.
because it's probably the best Italian restaurant around for quite some ways.
And I honestly, if you're in the mood for pasta,
And they have fresh pasta there. I asked them,
Yeah.
because I was so unused to having fresh pasta in an American restaurant. This was back maybe several months ago. And I said, is this pasta made in house? And she said, yeah, of course it's made in house. And you could taste the difference. And going to Italy, you can taste the difference.
it's just every
thinking back to
restaurant
them.
though has it there, so you can
Yeah.
so easily get spoiled.
Literally hanging from the ceiling sometimes. Or
Honestly-
they're cranking it out in the middle of the restaurant.
I would think that you're going to get better pasta at a pizzeria. There are other places, obviously,
Yeah, of
that
course.
have much better. So with all that in mind, what would you give the food?
The food grade, I'm going to go, because I really enjoyed the soup and salad so much, I'm going to go D+, because I do wonder now if there's other things on the menu, such as other appetizers, that might also be not that bad. But the main courses just did not do it for me. I think if I was just grading main courses, it's probably like D-. But if I'm factoring in those things that I actually really like, they weren't that bad. I think, what did I say, D+? I think D+ makes sense from my perspective.
And I locked in a little bit less. I locked in a D.
Yeah, you're in the
again,
same range.
I
Yeah.
liked the soup. We're beating a dead horse, but apps are
That's
good.
probably what they did.
Yeah.
That's probably what the meatballs were.
Apps are good. Ugh. Just don't even order an entree. What did I don't even want to say. Someone described it as
Oh, hot, expensive garbage.
hot, expensive garbage, and the entrees were definitely that.
All right, drinks. What do you think?
So you start us off. I started with food.
Oh, you
And
did?
you did most of the drinking, so
That's true. Well, so
I just took a sip of each.
so drinks, it was funny because I expected when I went there that, oh, I'll just get their standard wine and grade their drinks based off whatever wine they offer. However, I saw their drink menu. I didn't even see wine. Maybe because I wasn't looking for it, because I was kind of distracted by the fact that they offered what they called an Italian margarita and a blue Amalfi, which I thought was really funny because Italian margarita is interesting. We had margaritas in Italy, I think, a couple of times, but we didn't have one called an Italian margarita. And that was one of the questions I asked the waitress, what exactly that is, how she prefers it, salt or sugar rim. Again, she was probably the best part of the experience. She had some great insights. I wound up going with the Italian margarita because she sold me on the fact that they give you a shot of amaretto with it. And the shot of amaretto we sipped beforehand, and it was actually really good amaretto. I don't know if it was Di Serono. It tasted like Di Serono, but if it wasn't, it was really good amaretto even still, which, I mean, honestly, that shocked me, but it mixed really well with the margarita. It was kind of really cool to mix it in with the margarita. I'd never had that before. It came with some fruit garnish. I thought the Italian margarita was pretty good.
So did I.
Yeah, it wasn't
My
that.
sip was really great. Yeah.
And it was funny because we had gone to a bar restaurant. Oh, actually, we did go to another place. We just didn't review it the other day just for lunch. And we, I don't want to say what it is because we're not doing a review. And I don't like saying bad things about places that we're not giving the full context on. But so I won't name the actual location, but I had ordered at this other restaurant bar place what did I get? Was it a mojito?
A strawberry mojito.
And it was a watermelon mojito.
A watermelon.
And it was really bad. It just was not good. It was either a bad mix or it wasn't mixed well or both. And so that's sort of my standard now in my mind, especially coming back from Italy and having some awesome A-grade mojitos, that's kind of where I'm at with, okay, that's a below average towards failing mojito or margarita or a sweet mixed drink like that. I thought the one at Olive Garden was pretty good. It wasn't too sweet, which is often, I think, the sort of failure of a lot of margaritas. And we've had that trouble before where we just say, man, this is too sweet. It's just a palate obliterator. So I really like that. And then I ordered the blue Amalfi after that, which is a blue drink. I think it's blue curacao or something like
Yeah.
that, maybe. That one was a little sweeter. So
But that's part of the drink. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
That's for someone that's looking for a sweet drink. It wasn't artificially sweet, I don't
no,
think.
I like that one too.
It was sweet from the liquors.
That sort of reminded me almost of the spritz drinks that they had
yeah.
in Italy. So I actually thought that, I don't know if that's what they were going for, but it kind of reminded me of a drink like that, which is sort of a very popular thing. If you go to Italy, you can get all types of like orange spritzes or limoncello spritzes or amaretto spritzes. They're kind of champagne-y, carbonated, more mixed drinks.
Yeah, they're really good for the summer.
Yeah,
when it's
really refreshing.
hot.
So I almost felt like the blue Amalfi was a little bit in that sort of light. So I thought the drinks overall were pretty good. Did you have any other thoughts? I mean, you got a seltzer, right?
Yeah, my seltzer was great. I mean, I don't know how hard that is to do, but
People, hey, flat seltzer's a thing.
I mean, last time I was at a restaurant, again, the same restaurant where you got the subpar mojito,
Yeah.
I did also get an entire water spilled all over my lap just as my food came out and did not get comped anything, which is kind of insane because
Maybe we should review this place.
because I didn't make a stink about it. I just kind of was like, felt bad for the waitress, so I just let it go. But the manager saw what happened and didn't even comp me anything. Not even a $3 seltzer, which I thought was...
You seem a little tilted.
I did. I got to leave a review. Maybe we should call out the place. That wasn't right. I feel like I should get comped something because I wasn't a bitch about it. I was really nice about it.
I've never been to a place where they spilt anything on anyone.
I was
and
soaked.
Didn't give you something.
Nothing. I mean,
Didn't offer you a free round
a free dessert.
or at least a free seltzer.
Nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't even comp us a drink. We got Miller Lights. They could have comped us a beer. Nothing. And the manager totally saw. He didn't even come over and ask if I was okay. The waitress was mortified and almost terrified. She probably thought she was going to get fired. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Obviously, this is not Olive Garden.
This has
but
nothing to do with Olive
It
Garden.
was just a crazy
But-
experience. That's like a D level drink experience or F level.
Maybe F level, yeah.
F level experience, but the drinks here were pretty good.
Yeah.
Coming off that, they were really good.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for drinks. I'm going to go In some ways, I wish I tried more. Again, I'm in Italy mindset, and in Italy, you get those limoncello shots in those chilled
Hell
glasses.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
have to be picky now with my
We
drinks.
have to. We're critics
The Di Serono shot glass, that was the same shot glass they used for limoncello.
Yes.
It wasn't chilled. My
Yeah.
limoncello, my Di Serono glass wasn't chilled. But it was good overall. I thought that was the other good part of the experience. I thought the service, the apps, and the drinks were the best parts of the experience.
Agreed.
So I'm gonna honestly go B+ for the drinks. I thought they were really good. I really liked them. So and again, it's so easy in my mind for a corporate place like that to just oversweeten the drinks, under liquor them, right?
Right.
Because that's what you would want to do as a corporate place. Hell, I've been to Applebee's before and ordered mixed drinks, and I say,
Wait, we weren't at Applebee's?
right. Well, no, but I've been to Applebee's
Kidding.
where they have 2-for-1 drinks, and you're drinking it, and you're like, this is heavily watered
Yeah.
down. There's a lot of water in this. This is such a waste. Just give me one regular good drink and charge me a normal price for an actual drink. That's something that really bothers me again about America, is that Americans are so stupid sometimes. Where more, I gotta drink more, I gotta eat more. And it's like you're wheezing and talking. Just have one better. Have one of it in a better form, and you'll be happier. It's fine. You don't need to constantly be wheezing and consuming. That doesn't need to be your life.
Good job.
Is that good? Okay. Did I make my point?
Good job. Yes.
So what did you give for drink grade?
So my experience where I didn't drink a lot of alcohol, I gave it a C+. I thought it was satisfactory. It was good. It was fine.
Yeah, but you didn't try anything else.
I know. So my experience was good. I didn't love the blue drink the way that you loved it. It was a
Okay.
little sweet for me.
That's what I'm talking about. Some insight.
It was a little sweet for me, the blue
Yeah.
drink. I think it was a little bit, it tasted too much like Kool-Aid or something. I thought the margarita was great. I think that was their best drink on the menu. I wish we would have got some water, even though
Oh, I forgot about
we
water.
didn't really order it, but we
Yeah.
probably should have
Well,
got
she asked
some.
if we wanted water.
Yeah, I didn't. I probably wanted
There's
to
a
say
drought
yes.
right now, and you have to. No, I'm serious. You have to request water.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, it sounds realistic.
There is a drought.
That
There is
could
a
actually-
there is a drought, so that might actually be a thing.
Yeah, but I thought
So.
I thought my experience was C+, which is still really good.
All right. So what
All
do we
right.
got for letter grades?
All right, so
Let's wrap this up.
our report card for Olive Garden.
There's also a video that we'll probably put on Patreon of me hitting you in the head with the breadsticks because they were so fake.
Yes,
So factor that into your letter grade as well.
deal.
Actually, you should factor that into my letter grade because I was beating you with breadsticks.
Yeah, I think you are getting a lower letter grade now.
That's reasonable.
Yes. So our report card for Olive Garden, for atmosphere and ambiance, Joe gave a C-. I gave a D+. For service, we both gave B+. For food, Joe gave a D+. I gave a D. For drinks, Joe gave a B+. I gave a C+.
I'm making my calculating face. Do you see it? You can't see it if you're listening, but I think I know my letter grade.
I already wrote mine down. I'm
Oh, wow, you're
dialed
locked
in.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You got to go with your gut, like I say.
I know my
like
gut.
I tell you, you're going with your gut.
Yeah.
Is it full of Olive Garden?
My gut actually has heartburn right now, right in the middle of my stomach. I have a little bit of indigestion, and I was like, man, could I have used a piece of gum after this meal, which is never a good sign.
3, 2, 1.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. C minus. Oh, we're right in the ballpark.
Right in the ballpark. Wow.
Wow, that's. I was very interested in your final letter grade because I didn't know if you would go F, if you would go D minus. But again, this is why we said this with our Italy trip, that it is our experience, and some things I think brought up my letter grade, such as the service, such as the fact that we did try the not the breadsticks, the soup and salad, the drinks I thought were pretty good. So I think both our grades. I don't disagree with your grade.
I think my grade is a better representation.
Well, I think
of
you're wrong.
Olive Garden.
I was trying to be nice, but now I have to tell you how wrong you are. Okay.
Like I see why you gave a C-, and a lot of it was because really good drinks
Mm-hmm.
and really good service
Yeah. So.
and really good apps.
Yep.
So those are the positives. But to me, the negatives like totally outweigh the positives.
Interesting.
The bathroom was really dirty, starting from the top.
Yeah. Yeah. The
there was
bathroom
a-
factor is big.
You know,
always.
I know bugs are hard to control, but there was a fly flying around our table the whole time. The
That was just
entrees-
our spy cam to get A-grade Instagram footage.
I think the point of going out to eat, you want a good environment, right?
Mhm.
And you want good food. And those entrees were almost unedible, in my opinion.
That's true. The meatballs were
And-
inedible.
Is that inedible or unedible?
Both.
They were
Take your pick.
They were unedible.
They were uneditable. And Ed couldn't even edit it.
Ed couldn't edit.
Ed couldn't edit the editables. Yeah.
So I would say that when you go to a place where your entrees are that bad, I can't give in the C level, which is like an average satisfactory experience.
Yeah.
I think overall that was unsatisfactory to me. However, if I went back because maybe the family was going, I would know what to get. I would get appetizers.
Yeah, 100%.
Also,
that's the way to do it.
I would guarantee that you and I will never choose to go back to Olive Garden ever again.
Why?
Why would we go to Olive Garden? Would you
That's
go?
true.
Like, if we're going out with your sister and your brother-in-law, if we're going out with your brother, if we're going out with my sister, my parents, are we going to choose Olive Garden?
Well, when you put it like that.
And I almost said Applebee's again. Like, it's the same. Like, I just feel like, yeah, it's good to know this is what you would get if you're like forced to go there because you're going there with people that like it or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But I could see you and I deciding to go grab a slice of pizza or grabbing sushi.
It's tough when you're in a place such as New York where you can find really good food. You can find really good Italian food. So I see what you're saying. So I'm willing to go D+ for those reasons, because I think you're right. At the end of the day, it does come down to the food itself. And if I literally don't want to eat another bite of spaghetti and meatball, that's bad.
If I can't get through the podcast without getting nauseous, that's bad.
Yeah, well, all right. So D+?
I think D+ is the right grade.
Yeah.
I think we've been to some good places that we've given C's. And
yeah, that's a good point.
I think our rubric is evolving, and this is a D+ experience for me.
So it's a D+ experience overall for Olive Garden by A Grade Podcast.
You heard it here.
You heard it here. And yeah, that's everything.
That's everything. Next week, we are back to a
coffee roaster.
Do you think we're going to do roaster first or craft beer brewery?
We're going to do coffee roaster. So next week, I'm very glad because we're going to be getting back into our relatively normal, regular routine, switching back and forth between coffee roasters and craft breweries, which we kind of found some in Italy, but not really. And none that really blew us away like some of those that we love in America have. So there's two in particular that are kind of right near each other back in New York that have been on our radar for a while. We haven't gotten to check out yet. So I'm really excited to get back to that. So if you are a regular listener or a new listener, I know a lot of our regular viewers, what do I call them viewers? Listeners love coffee and love coffee roasters. So we're going to be probably starting with a coffee roaster next week, get back into that experience, and then we'll follow up the following week with that brewery.
I'm really excited for this because it really is the point of the podcast. We want to highlight those small businesses, those local places that are making really high quality coffee and really high quality beer. And after being out of the country and coming back, I think this is what America does best.
I agree.
It is worth it to kind of avoid the corporate restaurants, unfortunately, even like an Olive Garden, and go to the local businesses where people are doing things really well. We have had such great experiences at coffee roasters and craft beer breweries in America, and I can't wait to get back to that.
Yeah, hot take. I feel as if I wish I did remember her name. I feel like it was Rachel or Ashley or something who was serving us. Get a job at an awesome coffee roaster or craft brewery.
Yeah,
she would crush it.
She was so good. Yeah,
she was so good. Yeah. She would crush it. I mean, I don't know why people are in the situations that they are, obviously, but that's just to say that some of the servers you meet out there, they're doing a great job, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that about wraps us up.
Yeah. So thank you again for listening, for joining us. If you want more A-grade awesome behind the scenes content, patreon.com/A grade podcast. Hop on over there, sign up, become an A-grader. All the cool kids are doing it. You want to be a cool kid, right? I do.
Yes.
And you can become an A-grader yourself if you sign up. It's just a couple bucks a month, and you get all of this behind-the-scenes access. You get extra pictures, photos. Pictures and photos are the same things. I'm slipping. I think I got Olive Garden brain.
Yeah.
It's melting. Videos of inside some of these places that we go to, such as what the bathrooms look like.
The back rooms, bathrooms.
And the report card where you get all of our letter grades. So it's actually a really good reference sheet because you can say, oh, I'm going to this city, I'm going to that city. We've actually had people say that where they say, oh, I'm going to Philly, and they use some of our recommendations. So it's actually kind of handy in that way. So if you want access to that, again, patreon.com/agradepodcast, or you can just click on the link in the episode description wherever you're listening.
Yes, and I think now we are going to go put on the Yankees, who are having a season where they basically are falling apart at the seams.
They're having an F grade stretch right now.
I'm going to watch live and in person with all of my sad vibes. This team fall apart and have the worst collapse in Major League Baseball history.
Geez, you really took a hard turn today. All right, well, thanks for listening. Hope to see you next week.
Oh, Yankees.
So until then, stay safe. Drink well, be well, and hope to see you then.
I hope to see you in a couple weeks when the Yankees are back on top.
Next week. We're going to be here next week.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye.
You're losing it. You're cracking.